Yes, I think YouTube is live as well. Okay, let me see. Just going to make sure that everything is working here. That we've got everything working in YouTube and Instagram. Can you guys hear me all right? If you can, please let me know, because I'm going to have Raphael coming soon, so hopefully he's okay. Just double check. Yeah, looks like the audio is good. Yeah, thanks Anna for responding that you can hear all right. Those in YouTube, can you also hear me all right in YouTube? If you can, yeah, please let me know. And I think we will start. And just reminding you guys that this coming Sunday we're going to have the opening webinar of our free online workshop, Engineer Journey 2023, which is going to be not just one day, but it's going to be Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. Also, it's going to be on Monday, 8:30 p.m. Brisbane time, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8:30 Brisbane time. And during this event, you will learn everything you need to know to start your application to become an engineer here in Australia. So if you haven't registered yet to the workshop, you can, I'm probably going to put the link in the comments, but you can, if you are on Instagram, you can go to my bio, and the link is in my bio if you haven't registered to the free online workshop yet. If you're watching in YouTube, you can then go to the description of this video, and the link to register in the workshop is in the description of the video. Yes. Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to check if Raphael is here. Yeah, Raphael, he's in Perth, so I think he was saying to me that he finishes work and then he was going to rush to go home, and so hopefully he'll be able to come soon. But while he's not there yet, I'm going to explain a little bit how the workshop is going to work. And again, don't forget that I think you guys, some of you guys did it, but others haven't yet. So you need to, if you want to run the chance to have a 15 minutes of free consulting with me, you need to go to my Instagram profile, to go to that post and follow the instructions. You just need to follow my profile, like that post, mark another engineer, and write in the comments, I will participate in all workshop live sessions. That's what you need to write in the comments. I will participate in all workshop live sessions. So when you do that, on Sunday during the opening webinar, I'm going to load all the comments in the system, and then live during the opening webinar, I'm going to, well, the system is going to choose somebody, and that somebody is going to win 15 minutes of free consulting with me that we're going to do probably in next week. So make sure that you go to my profile in that post, this one here. You go to that post, and then you like the post, you mark an engineer, and you write in the comments that I will participate in all workshop live sessions, and then you will be in the run to win 15 minutes of free consulting. And Raphael, I think he's just joined, so I will invite him to join the live session, and hopefully it will keep working. So let's see how this is going to work. So hopefully it will work, and I think, yes, I think Raphael is here.
Hi, Jason. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Excellent.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Well, good, thanks. Yeah, thanks for rushing from work to come here and for us to have a quick chat. Yeah, thank you very much. How's everything in Perth?
Yeah. Thanks for inviting.
Yeah, that's all right. So you're busy working the whole day?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Although it is a 9 to 5, we have site visits, so we often do overwork. Yeah, today I had extra hours as well. Started early and finished late, but that's good. It's good to be busy.
Yes. And do you live nearby your work, or you need to do a little bit of commuting?
More or less, it's a 20-minute drive from home.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, 20
Yeah.
minutes nowadays, driving.
Yes,
Yeah,
Perth is very car centric. So for those who never been to Perth, you definitely need a car to get around. It's very hard to get around with just the public transportation, and especially if you're doing any kind of job that requires you to drive around and visit clients, then you definitely gonna need a car.
yeah, all right. Okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, similar to Brisbane. Well, although Brisbane, I don't understand much about Perth public transport, but Brisbane, it's not that bad, as long as you kind of don't really do late. If you don't need late kind of a public transport, because some buses and trains sometimes they stop at midnight.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
similar issues over here.
Yeah. All right. Now that's good, Raphael. Um, I want to introduce a little bit about you, but then obviously I'll ask you to introduce yourself a little bit better. Raphael, he's a Brazilian chemical engineer and very proud validated chemical engineer in Australia. And I'm going to ask you to share with us, when did you come to Australia? Why did you choose Australia as part of your introduction, and what were you doing in Brazil before coming to Australia?
All right. Hi everybody. And I first came to Australia in 2014 as an exchange student in a program an exchange program sponsored by the Brazilian government called Science Without Borders. I've done 2 semesters at the University of Melbourne, 9 years ago. So it's been quite a while. And it was a very rewarding experience to study in one of the best universities in the world, and also back then the most livable city in the world. Managed to have plenty of friends, as well as having a little bit of a professional networking, since I've done a summer internship back then. I was just 21. Um, and obviously there was an exchange program, so I had to return to Brazil and finish the studies in my home university. And so that was pretty much done. I finished uni in Brazil, and immediately after I left the country because I was always passionate about Australia, and also very passionate about the world, traveling. I'm pretty much a globalist, and I've done work around developing Asia. I worked in Vietnam. I lived in India, and then I came back to Australia in 2020, which wasn't really the best year. But
Right in the middle
then
of the pandemic, yeah.
yeah, so I arrived a month before the border shut down.
Oh,
A
yeah,
month
you're
before.
lucky.
Yes, we can say that, especially considering that I was in India before, so I was very lucky to be. And they had a very tough lockdown. Modi imposed a very strict lockdown in India
Yeah,
shortly
yeah,
after I left. So I'll be in trouble if I was there. So I'm not entirely mad that I was in Melbourne in 2020. But anyway, as most of you other migrants that are watching might be familiar with, it isn't really an easy ride, especially once you arrive, and especially for those who arrive in the pandemic. So unfortunately, I've been stuck in the physical laboring jobs
yeah,
throughout the pandemic, and it was quite tough. The labor market was extremely tough, and basically you had to do anything for a dollar. But fortunately, that is over, and then immediately after the border shut, the WA border shut was lifted, I moved to Western Australia
yeah.
for employment and visa. It's what we're gonna touch that aspect in more detail later on. But that's pretty much my recent story.
Wow, yeah, well done, Raphael. Yeah, well, I think we all know about arriving in Australia and doing those sort of jobs. Yeah, I think majority of our audience, they came as international students and living the dream to become an engineer, getting a visa, getting a job in the area of engineering, and move forward. Myself as well. Well, no, as you know, I also worked as a cleaner. Was cleaning toilets, frying chips, and those sort of things. Nothing wrong with that. It's a job like any other job. But as an engineer, we always
Yeah,
want to go back to our engineering and contribute to the engineering. And I
and
follow you on
we
Instagram.
can't really lie because it is a little bit upsetting once we arrive in Australia with high expectations and we end up in the physical jobs. It is disappointing and it is tough, but we learn
Yeah,
how to go through. And definitely, what I can say to everybody is that the ones who endure and the ones who move forward are the ones who stay in the country.
yeah, yeah. Australia is not for the how do they say here in Australia, for the fainted-hearted.
Oh yeah,
So
you're
you
absolutely
gotta
right.
be you gotta be strong, and as you said, expectations. I think that's something that it's an important message that you're sharing with everybody. That Australia, it's a marvelous country, but is a country like any other country. Has its difficulties, has a lot of uh, barriers to become a professional. Migrants usually they have to work in those sort of works, labor work, or delivery, or cleaning in the beginning. Obviously, there are some that they already come with expat and transfer from their companies. That's a different situation. But I believe that majority of international students like us, we we have to have the expectation. All right, uh, as much as we would like to work in the area, the expectation is that in the beginning, it's going to be normal if we have to work in those labor or cleaning or delivery sort of work.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you arrived here in Australia, and then you're working, yeah, in those manual work. Luckily, during the pandemic, the labor and manual work, they were the type of work that there's still a lot of work, because
Yeah.
if you were working in hospitality, if you were working in other types of work, perhaps would be much different, because in labor work, either unloading containers or construction, those sort of type of work, it quite didn't stop. So there was still a lot of work for that type of work.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but then how did you get to know me? How did you hear about me, and how did you hear about the content that I shared? I'm curious about it.
Oh, all right. So it came as an Instagram ad the first time that I saw your content. And I don't really know how these algorithms work, but depending on what I say to my phone, there's going to be an ad about it shortly after. So yeah, so I started seeing your notifications, which are quite similar to the ones that you still have today.
Yeah.
And I was particularly interested about hearing, especially because, at least I don't know how it is nowadays, but back in 2021, there is not enough content online about this. I mean, the diploma validation has always been there, but there is no such thing as someone who has done the path and knows what it is about and is willing to share that information. So this wasn't really the case. So when I saw your content, I was surprised that, oh, someone has done this already. Someone is keen to explain the procedure as well as troubleshooting and providing mentoring service, because when you are doing the diploma validation, the more you dive into it, the harder it gets. So once you're going through the booklet and you read it through and you realize that the more of effort you put, it isn't easy to understand. And so before seeing your ad, I was trying to engage in the procedure myself. And coincidentally, I saw the ad more or less in the time that I was starting to gather documents. So it was quite convenient. And yeah, so it was definitely interesting how the phone picked up what I said and show you, but that's how it happened.
Yeah, and when you saw my ad, probably 2021, probably it had been already probably 2 years that I was already doing this.
Oh, all right.
And because I started in April 2019 with my videos, and not really much in Instagram, but more Facebook and YouTube. But yeah, so, and then when I started in 19, it actually, I wanted to start back in 2013. So I was doing already interviews with Engineers Australia since 2011. So it was almost 10 years that I was doing that. So yeah, I felt that was a time to really help people with substance, because I appreciate a lot of people, they want to help people, but just because you've done once, it doesn't really mean that you can repeat the same process for everybody, because every case is different. And you've done the process, you know that it's very, very difficult. There's a lot of work that you need to do. And then you saw my ad, you participated in probably in the workshop as well, similar workshop that I'm going to start this weekend. And then a lot of people, they watch my content, they do the workshop, and they do by themselves. But others, they need a little bit more help. What was your biggest fear when you kind of participated in the workshop, and then when I opened a new group for the mentoring? Did you have any particular fear in kind of joining my mentoring program or not?
Yes, I actually did have a fear, honestly. I'm 100%. When I was having the free mentoring workshop, whatever it was labeled, 2 years ago, I was 100% sure that you were clear about what you were saying. My fear was what happens when I actually start doing it. Are just going to provide the service, but not provide as detailed mentoring as I would need? Because what I thought about was that, whoa, this is all very well explained, and I'm sure that Jess is going to provide a great explanation about every single detail. But then it becomes a case-by-case scenario, and then are you really going to be there? Are you really going to be keen to provide those the little answers that we need when we're actually typing it and tailoring our diploma validation, especially because when I got the booklet and I read the booklet prior to meeting you online, I could already have an idea that there will be moments I will have to come with decisions of what I was supposed to write. Which topic am I going to pick up? What aspect of my career, my academic background am I going to have to put down on the paper? So I was scared that that particular aspects that are as general and that require lots of attention to it, that you wouldn't be there, but you were there, which I was very happy about. Because for you guys who haven't done the diploma validation yet, you come up with more and more questions, and it's not many self-explanatory. It's not really self-explanatory. So you really need someone to give you a direction of like when you're writing it down, the tone of your writing, the words that you're putting into it, and their basic errors and mistakes that you completely ignore until you are told that that is wrong. And that's what Jackson does all the time. And quite often, when I was doing it, I would send him a question about my tone. Let's say use the first person like I, and then he would just point out, oh, you missed that mark over here. You're not using the correct wording. You're not using the correct tone. You're not going to be approved if you write your story this way. Because basically for you guys, it's a lot more about how you describe the job than doing the job. So it's a lot of micromanagement and a lot of details, and it is very mentally intensive to get it all on the paper. And Jason was the person who was going to point out, oh, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, and give me a reasoning behind it based on his experience.
Yes.
Because obviously, if you're doing it on your own, it's a one shot.
Yes. Especially because we engineers, usually, we are not very good report writers.
We're not. We don't like writing in any language.
Majority of engineers, I know very, very few engineers that they are good report writers. Nowadays, I write very good reports, but because I learn a technique to write reports, not because I like to write reports and I'm a good report writer, just because I have to, because it's my job also to write reports at work, so I need to learn. But majority, not really very good report writers, and as I said, there's a lot of fine details, and the devil is in the details. So
yeah, absolutely.
And then
it's a nightmare if you don't know what you do.
Yeah. So you are there with the fear that, all right, if I go to his mentoring, is he going to be there for me, etc., etc. But then I went back to my records and I saw that it was on the 21st of June, 2021. That was the day that you went to my mentoring website and then you click the button, you fill the things, you put your credit card details, and you purchase my mentoring program. I always ask that question because I'm curious, what did it take for you to click that button and purchase my mentoring? Because it's a big decision, and it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
Especially because knowing that as an international student working, doing labor work, every dollar counts.
It does.
And I'm curious to understand, what did it take you to click that button and say, well, I'm going to bite the bullet and I'll do it.
Right. So there is this thing about the diploma validation that I wasn't really trusting my report writing abilities, because I can report very well according to Brazilian scientific standards, because that's what I used to do for many years. I used to work at a lab in Brazil, so I know how to report things in the ABNT and in our own way of describing a job. Our technical standards, exactly. But the more I read the booklet, the more it was like, oh, just throw that in the bin. It's completely different here. And then the biggest reason that I paid for the course is that I would rather have it done once and be approved once because I've done it well than trying it my way and failing and having to do it again, or being banned, or I was scared of a negative outcome by Engineers Australia, because they do occur, and they do occur. Yes, and for me in particular, I did my then that's me. I had a clear idea of which episodes of my career I would put into the diploma validation, and you need 3. And I knew what would be perfect from the beginning, from the moment I started. I knew what would be perfect. And then I was like, if I get it wrong, I'm going to throw 3 perfect stories in the bin, and I don't really know which stories would be good enough to be a decent substitute. So I was scared of not passing, of not being approved. And this is what I paid for the course, because Jason, he knows every single detail. And for whoever is on the Facebook groups, Engineers in Australia, Brazilian Engineers Australia, whatever that is always like, there's always someone asking a very specific question in these random Facebook groups, and there's Jason's coming with the most perfect, specific explanation. So I was 100% sure that I could trust him going through the specifics of my case, and especially me learning with someone who has done that several times of what it takes for me to be able to process my experience into the way that Engineer Australia expects. So that's what I paid for the course. Like it's not something that I thought that I could have done it with no help, just by reading the booklet or just by reading past CDRs.
Okay. So
because I read the past CDRs, and I was still a bit like clueless.
Yeah. So when you you purchase the program, and the program is the online courses there. You watch all the classes, and our group, you ask questions and those sort of things, etc., etc., etc. The live classes as well. So how did you feel in terms of before, when you purchased it, that you were not very confident in doing that, and then after you kind of watched the classes, and when you started actually writing and preparing your application, how did you feel? How confident were you in writing actually the career episodes and the summary statement and the CPD?
Yes. So back to my fears, they were based on not having enough information, not having specific information. Once I paid for the course and I opened the course, I was shocked because, spoiler alert, there are 108 videos of Jerson with the little background and the little signs, 108 videos. It is massive. It is just so big. And I was like, okay, so I'm 100% sure that he said everything that he had to say because the course is massive. I was, and then I felt, oh, so he's really telling everything that I need to know because I was shocked with how big it is. So once I started doing it, and I watched like the first episode, the second episode, the third episode, and these episodes, he puts everything in very well detail of what's your decision making process like how are you going to first explains the basics, like what's the structure of the diploma validation, the documents that you need to provide, blah blah blah, and then he comes up with a decision making mental map for you to know what you know and how you're slowly going to translate that into the report. And so watching these videos, and I'm just talking about the first 2 or 3, the first videos of the course, because they're like 108. And it was like, this is very well detailed, it's very well explained.
It's
It
a
goes
very
down to the last
step.
detail. Yes, and it's very easy to understand. It is lengthy, it's extremely lengthy, it's extremely hard work to get it done. But he put that through in such an easy to understand way that then I felt very confident. Like, if I do exactly what he's saying, it's gonna be all right. So I was
That's what I
very
call
impressed with the course. Very impressed with the course.
and that's what I called my program as validation formula, because there's a formula. You need to follow the formula.
Yeah.
If you follow the formula, if you follow the steps, if you follow everything that I mentioned in the program, there's no way you will fail.
Yeah. You're
In
100%
fact,
right. You're 100%
yeah,
right.
yeah. In fact, the 30 students that applied, all 30 were approved. So yeah, that's so far is fail proof, 100%.
It's 100%.
And,
It's 100%.
yeah, and if you had to give one hint, we've got people watching here, and people probably will watch the replay as well, and they are, well, he's a chemical engineer, you know, using experiences from Brazil and those sort of things, etc. If you have to give one hint to those people that are watching us now and will be watching the replay, what would that hint be for them to be successful? What would be a very good tip for them?
Right. Okay, guys. So let's stop and think about the people who are watching this live are coming from multiple countries and have probably studied many different engineering courses. So if there are people from all over the world and from all these sort of courses, then what's the deal? The deal is putting it exactly as it is asked. There is a format that you need to apply to. And I'm not just saying like how many paragraphs, how many pages, how many words. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there is a way to write the report. There is a way to explain your experience that is the standard of Engineers Australia and that Jason talks about all the time. So you really need to stick with the definitions. So let's say, for example, the definition of your the engineering course you've done. So it's very important that you focus on the definition that Engineers Australia uses for, let's say, what a chemical engineer does. Yes. So there are lots of different definitions apart from that one that are the foundations of your diploma validation. And that's the whole point for them. For their perspective of Engineers Australia, if they are looking at diplomas from all over the world, they want all of these to be explained in the exact same format. Yeah. So you really need to stay in your lane. And when you're doing the diploma validation program with Jason, or if you don't do it with him, doesn't matter, but you cannot put a foot away from the rules. You need to comply with the rules 110%. So that's my biggest hint to everybody.
Yeah, always. And that's very important hint, Raphael, because I keep saying in all my live sessions to the students, make sure that you always have the description of your engineering according to ANZ SEO occupation, because that is critical. You can easily choose the wrong experience and not really matching the definition. And if you do that, GS Australia is just going to ask you to rewrite your career episodes. Yes.
Yep. So like just well, I just wanted to say something that is very important for people who are watching. You do something wrong, you're screwed. So you don't want to get that. You want it to be perfect. And I'm not the kind of person who likes to pay attention to details. I'm not the kind of person who's particular about how you write or saying things, but I had to do it because that's how it works. That's how diploma validation works. It must be exactly the way they want. And this is particularly important because you, as the engineer, you're going to think about your experience that you had in the past, and you're going to be very confident about what you did, and you're going to say, I'm telling things this way because this is what I did, and that is correct. Not necessarily. What you say might be completely irrelevant. What you say might be completely bonkers. And you might just have to accept that it's not about you, it's more about them. And you carry that thought and you're going to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very good, valuable hint, Raphael.
Yep.
And we're coming to almost an end, Raphael, to our chat, because I don't want to hold you back. You're donating your time already very kindly.
Yep.
I have a last question. Now that you've been validated as a chemical engineer, and I saw in your stories that you were able to leave your manual work, and I congratulated you already before, but I want to congratulate you again.
Oh, thank you.
Your new job. You're working in a consulting firm, doing what you like to do.
Yep. Thank goodness.
But then, having validated your qualification, what does it mean now for you? Has it changed something in your life?
Yes. I am going to divide that into two, the practical outcome and the emotional outcome, because both are important. So let's go for the practical. For the practical outcome, after I received the positive outcome, I immediately, like a minute before, I opened the computer and sent my expression of interest for the permanent residency. Wow. That was the first thing I did because that's what it is for. Yes. Have I received an invitation? No, I'm still waiting for it. I applied very recently, but
you could apply your EOI because you had your letter.
Yes, it is a requirement, guys. For you who do not know how to send your EOI, the EOI, it asks lots of questions about points that you claim, but there are two documents, actually there are three documents that you can't apply without: the passport, the English test, and the diploma validation. And why I'm saying that is that you need to provide your Engineers Australia's ID, and you need to put the date that you were approved, that you received your validation, to proceed with your EOI. You cannot register an EOI without the diploma validation, because there are a lot of things that you can just put it and don't care about proof until they ask for it. For example, NAPI, or even your studies. Like these things, they don't really request the moment you apply for the EOI. But the diploma validation, they do. They request the moment you do the EOI. You cannot start. You can't enter the game if you don't have the diploma validation. So, and just the third is the English test. And obviously, you need an English test to do the. And I just wanted to stop for 1 second because I want to give another hint for everybody. But you guys, you can, if you're not very confident in your English abilities, and you think like, oh, I need to get a good English to get a good score, forget about it. You do the IELTS, the PT that you need to do to have the 50, so you can send the Engineers Australia application, because that is probably the lengthiest part of your journey, is getting the diploma validation.
Yeah.
So you don't wait to have perfect English to do your skill assessment. You do your skill assessment whether you have a perfect English or not. So that's another hint for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes people, they use the excuse of English because they just procrastinate.
They do. Yep.
Yeah, but I keep saying the process of the validation is so lengthy that you actually improve your English by doing your validation.
That's correct.
You're reading, you're writing, you're interpreting. So
you're studying for your your writing test.
You ended up improving your English naturally. So that's quite interesting. Yeah, yeah. And so that's great. So you applied for your EOI, and fingers crossed, it will come soon. For those that
sorry,
don't understand EOI,
Jason,
EOI means expression of interest. Yeah.
I forgot to say the other reason, the other thing that changes once well, sorry about that. I forgot about that. I got excited about the visa and stopped talking about that. So this is more of an emotional outcome of having the diploma, the skill assessment approved, is that when you do laboring jobs and you're a student and you cannot work more than 48 hours a fortnight and you have no money, and then you start having this negative mindset that you can't do things. So, and it's very natural, because if you're basically put in a position that you're lower in society than you were in your home country, then you start doubting yourself. So you start thinking, oh, I can't do it. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, this is not my first language. Oh, that's just rubbish. Because once you get your diploma validation, once you get your positive skill assessment, that gives you a boost in confidence, because then you're like, wow, Australia knows that I am an engineer, so I might as well find a job in engineering, which is literally what happened to me, because I didn't really believe in myself, and I really thought that I wouldn't make it, and it was just this emotional pressure of starting as a second-class citizen, cleaning toilets and rubbish. But then once you do it, you start believing that you can do everything else, that you can actually start over and be in the position of society that you were before you left, that you don't have to be a second-class citizen, that you can be more, and that you can achieve things. So there was a big change in mindset, and coincidentally, I got a job at the same time that I got a positive skill assessment. So I'm very happy about that, and that's the message I say to you all. The two things, they work together, like the practical consequences that are improving your standards of living, they should boost your confidence so you can do more and pursue your dreams more. So you need to do both at the same time, and it's a positive feedback process. So once you have a positive outcome, once you have a piece of paper that says you are an engineer, then you might as well want to go and pursue greater things.
Yeah. It's a life transformation. As I keep saying, that's your opportunity for life transformation. We all love our countries, you know. I'm from Brazil. I love Brazil, but I love Australia as well. And when I compare one and another, I have a daughter, I have a wife, I have my little family here. As much as I'm from Curitiba, Curitiba is a great city. But when I see things that are happening there, and I see things, Australia is not perfect, but I feel that I can provide a much more better lifestyle quality to my family if we are here. I don't know in the future, but nowadays, and it's a life transformation. If it wasn't for the diploma validation for myself, that I then applied for a permanent visa, and then after that got a permanent visa, citizenship, and those sort of things. It's really a life transformation, because I can see myself in Brazil still living that life, you know, that mad rush and working, and it was just going to be probably too stressful.
And dangerous.
All right. No, thank you very much, Raphael. And I'd like to thank you again for your time. I know that you're tired because you worked the whole day. We still have tomorrow to end our week. And I'd like to congratulate you again. And also I'd like to thank you very much for your trust in my mentoring program. And I'm very, very happy that you've been very successful, and very, very happy that of your success in your professional career. And I'm pretty sure that you will, you know, you will progress in your career very, very quickly.
So thank you very much. Yes, and this was definitely the hardest step. It was the lengthiest step, and I'm very glad that you were able to provide great guidance and a very well detailed course. And also you did a little bit of a review. You were always keen to teach me things that I wasn't able to do or that I wasn't doing properly. So the entire process was much better because of your support, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Raphael. And there are engineers here with us that are not validated, and they're planning or dreaming to become an engineer in Australia. And they've got a good chance because next Sunday, on the 8th now of October, 10 a.m. Brisbane time, I'm going to do another online free workshop, and they can learn everything to start and to understand the process. I'm going to be opening a new mentoring group after the workshop. That's your opportunity to take advantage of the knowledge of more than 15 years doing this. So thank you very much, Raphael. And there are some questions that I'm going to answer. People put some questions in YouTube. I'm going to be answering that after I say goodbye to you, Raphael. Thank you very much. You have a very, very good night, and we'll catch up when you come to Brisbane next time.
Yeah,
Let me know, and we'll catch up. And when I go to Perth, I'll let you know.
yeah, we'll have a beer.
We will.
Great,
Thank
great.
you very much.
See
See
ya.
you then. Okay, bye bye.
Right.
Yeah, that was Raphael Fassy, chemical engineer from Brazil. Very valuable student of my mentoring program, Validation Formula, and he's been approved by Engineers Australia as chemical engineer and is working in the area now. And we heard that he also applied for his expression of interest to his visa, so he can become a permanent resident here in Australia. I got some questions here in YouTube. Yeah, Tiago saying hello, Angie saying hello, hello, Milton saying hello. Yeah, Milton, of course, Milton YouTube has said, I did the course too 1 year ago, and I think I studied 3 months or 4. It was perfect. I got my recognition as production engineer. Gerson was amazing. I need to live the life now, but this course works. Yeah, thank you very much, Milton. You certainly, your credits in becoming a production engineer, and I'm glad that I could help you as well. Angie Pirazan saying, I'm writing my CDR reports and I'm struggling for the 3rd one. Could I write a report for a simulation of process using Aspen HYSYS as chemical engineer? I'm not very familiar with Aspen HYSYS, but perhaps you can. If you participate in the workshop that starts this Sunday, we can probably have a chat and discuss a little bit more details. And if you, especially Angie, if you go to my Instagram post that talks about the 15 minutes of free consulting, you can get 15 minutes of free consulting with me. So you just need to go to the post. You need to just like the post, follow my profile, mark someone, and then write in the comments. I will participate in all workshop live sessions. And during the live session on Sunday, during the opening webinar, I'm going to upload all the comments in the system, and then live, I will be transmitting live. The system will choose somebody to win 15 minutes of free consulting with me. And then you can ask whatever question you want, and we will, in a live session like this, myself and you, we will be having a live session where I'm going to give you the 15 minutes of free consulting. So if you guys haven't done the post yet, you just need to, I'm going to show you guys, you just need to go to this post in my profile, and then like the post, follow my profile, mark someone, and write in the comments, I will participate in all workshop live sessions. And the first one, it starts this Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time, which is going to be, if you are in Brazil, it's going to be Saturday, 9 p.m. Okay. All right. So I'd like to thank you guys very much for your participation. And Michelle says in Instagram, I'd like to study Aspen as well. I wish I would study high season in Australia. Well, yes, I don't know what this is about, but looks interesting in chemical engineer. And Michelle, you're my student as well, so we can talk about it whenever you want. All right, so thank you very much, guys. And I hope to see you all Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time, or Saturday, 9 p.m. Brasilia time, either in my Instagram or in my YouTube channel for the opening webinar of the workshop Engineer Journey 2023. You can become an engineer still in 2023. It's possible. You just need to start and give the first step. Okay? Thank you very much, guys. And I'll